Okay, hi. Okay, we're starting our 11th case study. Tonight we're doing Donald Trump's horoscope. And okay, I can just about be here. Double check. On. Okay, good. Okay. Hi. Okay, so we're doing with Donald Trump's horoscope, June 14th, 1946, New York, 10:54 a.m. EDT. So he's a Gemini with a moon in Sag. He's born on the full moon, on a full moon eclipse, born on the eclipse of the moon. And he has the Leo rising. Last week we have Leo rising. So we have, and the sun up in the 10th house, which is the high profile eccentric person. So we're just going to start and go through our steps. I mean, everyone's curious about him. Everybody's looking ahead at, here he is, he's just at the end of his first term, and the elections are coming up next year, and they want to see what's happening. And I'm sure we'll just pay attention to some of the implications around that and see what comes up as we go at the advanced stages. But first, we got to do, like any chart, you still have to do your basic foundation. He's the bull chart. He has all the energy on one side, and he gets his energy and he puts it to the other side. So he has all this rising energy. 1 second, I just pull out another copy of his chart here. Okay, so it's not everything rising. The moon's in the 4th house, but he has mostly rising. He gets his energy all together and figures he's got it together. He's going to put it over to the other side to make it useful to everyone else. Whether they find it useful or not, he still will do that. Yeah, it's now he has the waxing. He's born in the waxing gibbous phase. It's almost a full moon. It's like within an hour of the full moon eclipse. So the eclipse was starting, like the shadow was starting to come onto the moon, you know, from the eclipse. But it just, it still was just going into greater darkness. So it's still the waxing gibbous. It's not till you have the full moon that comes the waning full moon phase. So this is the waxing gibbous phase. And so that's, in one way, it's the build up to the greatest light of the zodiac. He's the Gemini born in the greatest light of the full moon cycle, and he's the Gemini with the greatest light in the zodiac. So both of them are pushing towards independent, both by instinct. He's going to push for independence, to be more free and more independent. By his sun in Gemini, he's going to incline to do that, and that's with Uranus, it pushes it even more so. However, there is, okay, we'll come to this later. Okay, so then we're going to look at the elements. I have, I think, I feel, I will, I balance, I understand. So his keywords is I think, I feel, and I will. I think, so I feel like I will do this. I will do what I feel like I think what I feel. I feel what I think and I will do it. You know, like those three, the Gemini, Cancer, Leo are the strong elements. Then with I balance and I understand being the other two. So yeah, I don't try and get a lot from it. I just notice these eccentricities. I find the patterns are there. When we got the daylight increasing, darkness increasing, 10 points, darkness increasing. So his momentum is to influence others, to be involved with others, to take on responsibilities and commitments. That's the nighttime, the darkness increasing. But his 10 points daylight is greater and 4 darkness greater. So when it comes to blatant daylight, is good. I want to do things that influence other people, but I want to do it my way, or I know the way it's what other people need to be doing. I'll do that. I'll take this. I'm doing this for you. You know, like, so he has that kind of attitude. The cardinal fixed mutable, fairly even. 5 cardinal, 4 fixed, 5 mutable. It's got a balance. Nothing to say about that. A mix of everything. 0 winter, 4 spring, 6 summer, 4 autumn. So summer is his most active time, winter is his least active time. Okay, and then with the elements, 5 fire, 5 air, 1 earth, 3 water. The 1 earth points to perhaps a less down-to-earth or practical approach, but the fire and the air, the communication and the pride and the show and the burning and showing the 10 masculine points to 4 feminine. He's definitely projecting his ideas and who he is. The sun rules 3, the moon rules 3, Mercury rules 3, Venus rules 3, Jupiter rules 2, Mars rules nothing, Saturn rules nothing. So it's not about his energy, what he's doing. It's not about what he accomplishes. It's just his willpower, his feelings, his thinking. But if something affects his confidence, it's going to affect 3 planets. If something affects his sense of security, it's going to affect 3 planets. If something affects his thinking, it's going to affect 3 planets, it's just by the rulerships. And but if something hits his Mars, it's not really having other repercussions. It doesn't have that much effects. It's not as strongly positioned. Okay, so we've done all this before, so I'm not spending a long time going in detail into this. It's just kind of reminders to click it back in. Okay, with the houses, 2 values, 2 security, 3 honor, 3 friendships, 2 conscience. So honor and friendships are the strongest things. Honor, status, 10th house and 11th house. And conscience. So anyways, he's certainly a controversial figure, but he has the honor he is the president, he has all sorts of, he has his group, his team he works with, and he feels a conscientious connection to them. And anyone who's not part of the team doesn't have a conscience, or it's the other side. But rising 10, 2 setting. So in terms of projecting, he's instigating. So even though you got to do things his way, he wants to help others, but he's instigating how he wants to help others, or how he wants to be involved with others, or how he's going to do business with others. He's rising to make things happen. He instigates it. Above the horizon, 8, below 4. So again, the functional world of projecting things happen, to make things happen, to have an influence on other people, and to accomplish things, to have an effect. That's his forte here. The 5 angular, 5 succeeding, 2 cadent. It's still 5 and 5, but 2 cadence a little less adaptable, but they were very even in the others. These are not extremes that are going to stand out. He has all the different sides. 2 intuition, 8 thinking, 0 sensation, 2 feeling. Now this is a stronger perception. Here you're seeing his bowl chart. 2 intuition, that's the 3rd, 2nd, 1st houses. His projecting his motives or his intuition. He has 2 points there, but 8 points thinking about his effects on other people and how he affects people, how he's going to influence people. His main energy of thinking and how he projects and how his projections will have an effect, or will get the effect that he wants. Will accomplish things, will do things, will influence others. That's that thinking rising quadrant of the 12th, 11th, 10th. Then nothing, no sensation, nothing in the 9th, 8th, or 7th house. So that's the houses where you're able to respond to others practically, common sensely, where it's give and take, where you can have a common sense effect and reaction to other people. He doesn't have anything there. He's not really good on reacting to other people. It's good on projecting to what he thinks is there, but not good on reacting. He has the house as a signs and no planets, and it's not a strong accentuation. Then the feeling quadrant, where he's taking things personally, he takes things personally, he has the moon there. So he does take things personally in the Sagittarian moon way. He takes things in personally, then judges whether it's right or wrong, and then projects accordingly. Okay, houses of self, relationships, concerns. For here, there's not any fire. So that's nothing in the self houses, which is kind of surprising, but there's not anything in the cell houses. It's a contradiction to what's in the signs. There's 3 in relationships, communications. Those are the 2 weak spots, whereas with the signs, those were the fire and air were the 2 strong points. Here in the houses, it's opposite that, but his concern, his material concern, is the strongest, 5 points, and his getting rewards for the water element. That's the second strongest. So, okay. Oh, before we get to the transits, yeah, okay. Let me go in here. Now we get a chance to talk about his chart a little bit, about his natal chart. So, if we look at it, first, being born in an eclipse is not traditionally, especially for eclipses, are dangerous for politicians. They have difficulty, there are shadows around them. And but there's the opposition between the past and the future, between what he thinks is important in the sun and his moon. So his moon and the sun, the past and the future, are always fighting each other. His past opposes his future opposes his past. So and since they're both immutable signs, there's multiple branches going back, multiple things going back, multiple options going forward. And he has the contrast between the past and the future. It's kind of like it's a full moon. It's a deja vu, but it's got the eclipse, so the light is blocked. So it's not, one doesn't reflect on the light. But this moon, the need to be understood or the need for understanding, his IC is in Scorpio, so he's personally very judgmental about himself. Well, what he's doing, he's driven to do things, but his Mars, it rules, it's in the 12th house, it's not strong. But in that judgment, he takes things in through his feelings, through his family, through his home. So he's responsive to his family and home. He's projecting to everyone else. He's responsive to the family, the home, to his team. And so they have the strongest effects on him. But there's a tendency to exaggerate the feelings, to magnify it, to have a certain amount of pride, to have it exaggerate, to react in pride, and to understand, to justify his self-sense, his sense of esteem, his need to have things a certain way. Have a home, have big homes, because the need to have hotels, and has these big empires and hotels, big buildings. You can see his sense of security in having places in different countries and different things. That would be like the moon and Sag. So this is a person who's traveled all around the world, but really he's only stayed in his own hotels. So how much he's actually seen of the world or interacted with the world is a question, but his moon being in Sag, okay, so that's this part of him. And then his Mercury is up in Cancer, affected by the moon. Oh, sorry, one more thing about the moon. That moon is highly unstable because it not only opposes the sun, it's opposing Uranus and the nodes. So there's a neurotic anxiety element to the moon. Nothing's ever stable. The past is stable. When things go wrong, his pride comes up. His past keeps breaking apart on him. His security keeps breaking apart. Hence the many marriages, the kids from different marriages, the extended family. He's had those disruptions. It's not, he even had broke away from his own family. They set him up and he took the money and broke away. So he had a challenge finding stability. He won't. It's not, even though he has all the things he has, it's not, his feelings in his home and his family have an insecurity to them. Okay, but it's a strong influence. But not only is that moon important to understand down the 4th house, it's how he takes things in through his feelings about family, but the people close to him. He needs security in that he needs to have the people around him understanding him and being aligned with him. Okay.